we might be live. All right, we are. We're live. All right. So if you want to share it on socials, if you go to the OTP YouTube thing, it'll pop up on there, and you can share it through that.
So go to YouTube, type in "Good on the Pipe." I think I'm a subscriber anyway.
Yeah. And tell me if it's working, because right now it does not look like it's working on YouTube.
It is.
Okay, cool. Then we're dialed in. Hello. All right, so guess we can get ready to go here. As I can feel my face turning red, and I'm not sure why. So if you're joining us later on YouTube, this is just we're trying to figure out the process, working through this whole thing. But here we are. So let's get right into it. Did we ever figure out where the West Harescramble was? My phone's up there.
I can find out.
Yeah. Nah, that's all right. All right, time to go ahead and get started. Salam alaikum is the only comment in the YouTube chat so far. So what's up, everybody? All right, this is like where the music and stuff plays. Blah, 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 blah. What is going on, everybody? Hello and welcome to On the Pipe podcast. I'm your host, as always, Tyler Shepardson, and today is Monday, June the 5th, 2023, years after zero, and you're joining me just in time for this week's episode of OTP's Weekend Review, and this time it's going to be with Craig Oberholzer. So I got Craig in studio right across from me right now. We're going to bring him in just a moment, but he is live in person in studio, ready to talk about race results and everything going on in the race world. So we're going to hear from him in just a moment. First, we're going to do a quick run through of the results. Now, today's show, we're mainly going to be talking about the GNCC that happened out here on the East Coast, and then out on the West Coast is going to be the West Harescramble. So we're going to run you through those results, and then we'll come back on and talk, Craig and I, about what in the world is going on and the sights, the sounds, the behind the scenes, and everything in between. Before we get started, as always, everyone knows the official manufacturer of On the Pipe podcast is indeed, which way do I need to go? This way, Beta Motorcycles. Beta Motorcycles are known for their premium quality and rideability. They manufacture the finest enduro, trials, and dual sport motorcycles, and they've been family owned since 1905. So they're the best looking bikes on the market, and they back it up with their superior performance. Head over to betausa.com for more information on their available models and find a dealer near you to get yours today. So check out betausa.com and figure out exactly what they got, how you can get them. You can order a bike with your parts already on it. You can order a bike with suspension already set up for you. It's pretty cool. You can build your own Beta on betausa.com. Also, as always, this episode is brought to you in part by Zach Tussle at Raymond James Financial. Zach Tussle is a racer and a financial advisor that helps his clients win when it comes to retirement and financial planning. Zach has been on the show. He's a good friend of the show. He is racing each weekend alongside you and I, actually recovering from a hip surgery, so he should be racing here coming up soon. But Zach Tussle, like I say, good friend of the show. I know a lot of people that listen to the show are already working with Zach Tussle. So go to financialadvisorsdenvernc.com. Let them know you're a listener of the show and get a free consultation and see exactly how Zach Tussle can help you. With those out of the way, and once again, very much thankful for their support. Without you guys, without those guys, OTP wouldn't be OTP. But here we are. So we'll start things out on the West Coast. And I'm going to start out on the West Coast because without being there, there's a lot more stuff to dive into out here on the East Coast with GNCC. So we're going to start things out on the West Coast. Now, a little bit of drama, a little bit of stuff going on out there on the West Coast. Mateo Oliveira and Dante Oliveira came through first and second for the overall at the West Harescramble. And then Giacomo Redondi was in the third place spot. Now, you can see on their Instagram page, they actually have videos of everyone coming through, and you can tell that there's a little bit of asterisks when they post it. They say, hey, temporarily or provisionally, what was the word they used? Anyway, whatever word they used lets you know that there might be something brewing, something going on. And that's exactly what happened. So, turns out, I don't know the ins and outs. I don't know all the details, but Mateo and Dante Oliveira, I guess, took a hotline from what I can understand that may have been a little bit too far off the track. So, long story short, Giacomo Redondi physically finishes in third place, but after a couple adjustments in the overall, he actually gets bumped into the overall win. So, when you look up the results, when you look up the history books, when you look at it, Giacomo Redondi was the winner of the West Harescrambles. That's going to put Mateo Oliveira in the number 2 spot, and then Dante Oliveira in the number 3 spot. So, something went on over there. But then 4th place, Joe Watson on a beta. 5th place, Zane Roberts on a beta. So, shout out to those guys as well. Over in the 250 Pro class, Tyler Vore, who we've seen on ISDE teams. We've seen him racing out on the East Coast. We've seen him racing out on the West Coast. He takes the win in the 250 Pro class. And then Jaden Donners is going to end up in 2nd place. And then Mason Ottersberg, the reigning defending 250 Pro champion, he finishes in 3rd place on the weekend. So shout out Mason, get up there on that overall podium. So Tyler Vore takes the win. Jaden Donners in the number 2 spot, and Mason Ottersberg in 3rd. We look down at the pro women. Rachel Stout takes the win there. Michaela Nielsen takes the number 2 spot, and Ava Silvestri will round out the women's pro class podium at that West Harescramble. So that's going to do it for out west. We talked about Dante Oliveira racing pro motocross last weekend. Obviously, Dante had a West Harescramble to race this weekend, but Kai Ayao, I think that's what I'm going to go with. He raced pro motocross this past weekend and did pretty good as well in the 250 Pro class. So maybe once the series comes over to the east, we'll see some of our very own Woods riders, off-road riders, go race some pro outdoors as well. Josh Toth, who, Craig, we might catch up on a little bit of Josh Toth with you here in a moment. I know he's got some outdoors in the mix and planned, and Loretta's as well. So we'll talk about some of that. But right now, let's get into the GNCC results. We finally, at round number 8, have a 2-time winner. For the first time this year, a rider won 2 races on the season, and that rider is your new points leader, and that rider is Craig DeLong. Craig DeLong, we saw get his very first overall win in the mud in Georgia, and he does it in the exact same extreme conditions, but the polar opposite. So he won in the extreme mud, and now he won in the extreme dust, and he takes over the overall points lead in doing so on his way to becoming the second multiple winner on the season. Lane Michael. Lane Michael's a guy that we were just talking about a couple weeks ago. Hurting his shoulder again. He hurt his shoulder at Camp Coker, and he's kind of been out. And then he went to some sprint enduros, and he won the sprint enduro. And we didn't know whether he was even going to be racing this weekend. And Lane himself didn't even know if he was going to be racing this weekend. Not only did he race this weekend, he gets on the overall podium, a 2nd place finish. That is right. Craig DeLong and Lane Michael swapping the lead back and forth, battling each other. But this time, it's not 2016 for an XC2 win. They're battling for the overall win, and what a show that they put on for those two. So, huge congratulations, Craig DeLong, becoming the first multiple-time winner on the season, and then huge congratulations to Lane Michael. Very first race that his newborn daughter has been to, and he gets to celebrate that with some hardware. 2nd place overall on the day. Rounding out the overall podium, Ricky Russell is going to be the final podium position on the day. So Ricky Russell rode through the dust, said himself he didn't get quite that good of a start, and a day like that, dust like that, you got to be out front early on, and just goes to show it kind of seems like a lot of the same running order throughout the rest of the race. And so that is going to be how the overall podium stacks up. Just pulling up a couple things here so we can see exactly what we're talking about. So that's going to be XC1, and Ricky, this is what I did want to point out. So Ricky got not a great start, 6th place, checked in lap 3 and 4th place. During that 3rd lap, moves up into that 3rd place spot, and he would remain in that 3rd place spot to finish out the day. And that's what I want to see, just where he came from. Jordan Ashburn, 4th place on the day. Grant Baylor, 5th place on the day. Ben Kelly, 6th place on the day, but goes from 8th to 6th on that last lap. So in that last lap somewhere, he gets around Stu Baylor and Jonathan Girard to wind up in that 6th place and save those points. The difference between 8 to 6, those are valuable points in this championship that is coming down to the wire and is such a close battle. Trevor Bollinger makes his return back out to the racetrack. Another guy that we saw get banged up and miss a few races. Trevor Bollinger back out there, top 10 in the XC1 class, 11th place overall, 9th place in the XC1. And then Josh Strang is going to round out the XC1 Pro class. As we look now into the XC2 battle, it was Liam Draper. Liam Draper is a guy that we've talked about all year long, a guy that's been right there, a guy that's led laps, a guy that's been right on the bubble. He gets it done, holds on to it, gets the overall win, and he does it while riding without a foot peg for part of the race. So shout out to Liam Draper getting it done and grabbing that XC2 win. Gus Reardon, we saw him battling back and forth. We saw him lead a couple laps. We saw him get in the lead, lose the lead, get back in the lead, and battle down to the wire. So Gus Reardon holds on, 2nd place finish on the day. And then Rui Barbosa, becoming a podium regular, gets up on the podium once again in that XC2 class, 3rd place in class. Toby Cleveland takes another win in the XC3 class. Jack Walker in 2nd, and then Beta Zone Jay Lipscomb does it in his home state, gets 3rd place in that XC3 class. And then we look at our top amateurs. Cooper Jones beats out JoJo Cunningham for the number 1 spot. So Cooper Jones is your top amateur of the day at the Mason-Dixon. JoJo Cunningham, 2nd place. And then Lane Whitmer will round out your top AM podium. And then looking down to the morning race, Corey Steed makes a return to the win column, grabs the overall win, followed by Rachel Archer, the points leader in the number 2 spot, and Rachel Guttish in 3rd. So that is the way that things go. That is the way that they shook out. That is the way that things ended up. So now, to get more in detail, to talk about some of this stuff, we're going to welcome in our good buddy returning to the show. Welcome in Craig Oberholzer. Craig, what's going on, dude?
I'm enjoying myself. Here to hang out.
Thanks, man. Sorry I went on a whole long-winded tangent there, but welcome to the show. Welcome back. We're in the studio that isn't quite a studio yet, but we're here.
Yeah, happy to be here.
So, what's your biggest takeaway of the weekend? There was a lot of stuff that went down.
I hate dust. I'm glad it wasn't like last year where everyone's bikes were blown up. That's cool. That was the main thing that I was thinking of coming into the weekend was everybody's. Every year at Mason-Dixon, it seems like bikes are blowing up, factory bikes, people, amateurs' bikes and everything. So that was the biggest thing for me. And I don't know, pumped to see Craig DeLong get another win. And it's crazy to me that round 8 was where we finally seen a second winner. Like last year, BK won, 6 in a row?
Yeah.
And obviously since he got hurt, had some issues. But, yeah, that's gnarly to me.
Yeah, to go from one guy winning 6 straight to 7 guys winning 7 different races.
Yeah.
And
it was almost 8.
I was about to say, we were close to seeing 8.
Last lap, and I was watching, I was like, dude, there's no way.
Could you imagine if Lane Michael would have went out there and got that win?
He would have been the only because he's a privateer technically, right? I mean, he's factory supported, but is he technically a privateer?
Yeah, he's a privateer.
So
I think
that's what I was
FXR and
thinking.
Gas.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking the whole time. Because I was like, man, that'd be sick to see someone that's not on a factory bike win.
Plus, like
He
everything
needs it
that
too.
Lane's
That's so sick.
everything that Lane's been through, all the damn injuries and everything that happened with Yamaha last year and how that deal worked out. Like, man, for him to if he would have came back and got that, for him to come back and get second, that's still an awesome day, and that's sick as well. I had it up on, I had the Racer TV stream going on, and I was pumped. And when he came through, you just see how it didn't even look as much of excitement as it was relief.
Yeah. Yeah, because it seems like he always gets up there, and then something, even if it's not his fault, something crazy happens.
Yeah.
Do you remember at John Penton last year? I think I was watching with you when Strang won. Lane was right there with Strang, and then he had the issue with the dump can.
Yeah.
And it ruined his day.
Yeah.
And it was just the craziest stuff happens to him.
Dude, he won a Sprint Enduro championship. He's on his way to probably winning another Sprint Enduro championship this year.
Yeah.
Even like in the Full Gas heydays, like he would go out and win days and contend for wins. Like he's had the speed, and then ever since moving up to that XC1 class, just been waiting to put it together for a whole 3 hours. And like you said, he's been on the cusp so many times. He's been so close so many times. And I think now he's at a point where he's got so much to prove, and this has to be a huge confidence boost.
Isn't that crazy for guys who are in XC2 to move up to XC1, and when they're in XC2, like they have so many good overall finishes, and they never have, like, he had such a good couple seasons when he was in XC2 at the end, Then he moves up to XC1, and the only thing difference him being on a 350 or a 450, and then it's like just train wreck. All this stuff happens. I don't know if it's for someone like that. Like there's a couple guys that it happened to, but for someone like Lane who had such a not necessarily dominant because he had his ups and downs in XC2, but he comes in XC1 after having such a good solid last 2 years in XC2, and it's just kind of like it all falls apart. But I mean, there's not much changing. I don't know if it's just pressure from being in the class or if it's just literally just terrible luck. But that's what's so good about it for Lane, I think.
Dude, look at everyone not named Ben Kelly in recent memory.
Yeah.
Trevor Bollinger.
Yeah, well, first 2 years he was real good. That was whenever him, Thad, and Caleb. But after the first 2 years, pretty much when he got on Husky.
But I don't think he didn't have a podium those first 2 years. He might have had one the second year.
I don't know. He was on Hondas. He was doing real well, I thought, that first year he was on Honda. But, I mean, either way, it seems like it's, even for guys leaving 250A that are just dominant, and they go up to XC2 wherever they were in, like, top 5 in XC2 finishes, and they move up, it's like, I don't know, because I'm obviously not in XC2 or I'm barely an A guy, but it's just like, I don't know if it's like the pressure or what it is, but it seems like people have the worst luck when they move up.
Yeah.
And it sucks that it works like that because guys will have so much momentum going up.
I mean, look at Toth. Toth won that 250 championship and then defended it when Ben won it. And then he went up and kind of had to come into his own. Should have won a race.
Kind of won a race.
Did win a race with an asterisk.
But yeah, but for someone like him, like he does not like GNCCs. So, I mean, he'll openly tell you, like, he does not like having to – he likes tight woods, which, I mean, I don't know what the difference is from when he was in XC2 and XC1, but it's just he'll be the first one to tell you, like, going that fast, if you're not getting a paycheck for racing those things, he's like, why would people race these?
Yeah.
It's terrible.
For fun.
For fun.
Pay money to race them.
Yeah. Like, I paid so much money to be getting smoked in B class.
There's a lot of people that do.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
But, like, you look at the XC2 guys, like, Trevor, I don't think he's gotten an overall win, but he's ran into this whole string of injuries and stuff, and then Toth kind of had growing pains going into it as well, and now he's not racing GNCC full-time. Ben came up, won his first race, won his second race, won his fourth race, and then won a championship.
Yeah.
And then came back last year and won 6 races in a row, and now kind of dealing with his injury and coming back. And then Craig DeLong, he won that championship, XC2 championship, and then he moves up. And kind of last year is his rookie year, like kind of fighting to belong, and then all of a sudden ends up in a spot where, hey, he could win this championship. And then that whole thing goes on with like him and Bollinger, and then Ashburn ends up getting up there and getting the championship. And now you got Johnny that's moved into the XC1 class and dealing with his own issues coming into the season. And it's crazy to see the transitions that the XC2 guys have had coming into it. But I think it's safe to say that Craig DeLong has arrived.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and that's, I mean, his first race, he got third in that nasty Motor and Ironman.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that's one of those races to where, I mean, there was 250A guys in the top 10. One, like, I think an XC3 guy got like 7th overall. So, I mean, that was kind of hard to tell. But then all last year, he's super consistent.
And then gets his first win in the mud in Georgia.
Yeah, and then rips this weekend. I mean, he definitely earns it. Funny story about Craig DeLong. I have a buddy, Alex Exline in Ohio. He's a surveyor. And he was, they were somewhere in Pennsylvania, obviously, or West Virginia, wherever they were at. And he sent me a Carrier Resources truck, like a picture of one. I said, where are you at? He said, I don't know. He said, we're just over here doing some surveying.
Yeah.
He said, there's bikes over here. I don't know where they're at, but there's a motocross track. And he sends a video, like zooms in, and it's Liam and Craig DeLong
like, hey,
riding moto. And I said, hey, I know them. He goes, well, who is it? And I told him, he goes, dude, no freaking way. And he was like geeking. He's up on like a ridge, like quarter-mile away, just up on a power line.
Yeah.
Just watching them ride moto, and it was the most random thing in the world. I said, yeah, dude, that's the Carrier Resource. Like, tried to explain to them the connection, but I was like, yeah, that's DeLong and Liam Draper riding right now.
Dang.
So, I don't know. I thought that was a cool little story. But, yeah, I think, I don't know. It's consistency really wins, and Craig's also super fast, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, knock on wood, he's not had, he's been healthy, and that's the main thing I think right now is, I mean, even guys right now that you don't know, most guys are banged up going into race weekends.
Yeah.
I mean, as fast as everyone goes, if you slide out, it's probably going to hurt.
Yeah.
So Craig DeLong has done a real good job, I think, about keeping himself on the bike.
Better knock on some wood.
I'm trying.
Got good juju for you, Craig.
Good juju for Craig. Sorry, bud.
From Craig.
From Craig. Yeah, I mean he's staying on two wheels and being smooth, and that's I think the biggest thing.
I mean, obviously, I can't speak for Craig, and you can't speak for Craig, but I think a big part of it too for him is the mental game. I had him on the show a few weeks ago. I think it was after his Georgia win. I also think it might have been the last guest that I've had on the show, so trying to get better at that. But that's one of the things that he talked about is like getting even as simple as getting hole shots, like feeling like you belong in that XC1 class, feeling like you should be running up front. And I think once he got up there and got a few of those hole shots and ran up front at the beginning of this year, I think now he probably feels like he should be and could be winning these races. And I think that mental game going into it, I think, has to make a big difference as well.
Yeah, I mean, if you come into the weekend not knowing for sure, I mean, it's kind of hard to set your sights on top 5 and go win. But, I mean, Craig now knows he can, and I think that's exactly what he's going to do. I mean, maybe you should just put him on a Stark, and he can definitely get a whole shot every time.
Yeah.
Because I got mine ordered. Craig, I'll let you borrow one. But I don't know how Husky will think about it, but
I wonder,
I'll order a white one for you.
with an electric bike where you don't have to start it, it's already on, you just pull the trigger or pull the throttle and go. I wonder at what skill level, because you put any pro on that electric bike, they're going to pull the whole shot.
Yes.
But I wonder where
It's a moto Stark.
I
That's all
wonder
it is.
where that skill level comes in at that could still get a whole shot in the XC1 class.
Well,
Like, could an A rider do it? Probably.
I mean,
Could a B rider do it? The right one.
I'll put that bitch on 80 horsepower, and 240 pounds of Craig Oberholzer will come sliding in that thing. I swear I will. $250, but that's some money. I'll do it.
And also, too, like, not having to start, you could already be, like, halfway on the throttle. You could be, like,
It's a
doing a
moto
little
Stark.
burnout.
They don't
ready
want
to
it.
go.
I'm telling you, they don't want it.
Because then you could just get your $250 whole shot bonus in the first turn, and you're good.
I'm gonna tell you right now, there's a very good chance if that actually happened and I tried it, I would crash. 80 horsepower on the Stark, just
Yeah.
a little.
You imagine, like, getting the jump on everybody and then just washing out in the first turn?
pulling the Nelco. Sorry, Ben, and just washing out in the first turn. Yeah.
Or just turning into loop out Larry on the start straight, that thing coming out from underneath you.
Do you remember at Big Book this year whenever I was running Sportsman A, and we were gonna do that video where I was gonna
Oh, yeah.
moto whole shot Sportsman A by like 10 seconds and just stare right at the camera?
But you got scared.
I did get scared.
Should have done it.
I did it out of North Carolina 2 weeks ago.
I'm pretty sure all that they would do is just hold you at the finish line.
I mean, I sheared a brake pedal off as soon as I got in the woods anyway. It ain't like I did good. I got
See?
like 14th.
Could have had the whole shot.
I did a unlimited class out of North Carolina a couple weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I started it so early. And some old man behind me is like cussing me out. Shut that son of a blah, blah, blah off, cussing me out. So I shut it off, and as soon as I shut it off, they waved the flag.
Mm.
I hit it again, and it fired right up, and I still whole shot. I looked back, and I was like, fuck. It was great.
Dang.
But that's Unlimited Heroes of North Carolina.
Dude, sometimes, like, looking at the back rows of Mid-East, like, I'll see people take off, like, 2 rows early. And it's like, I don't know how much that stuff actually gets caught.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously didn't want to do it as far as cheating. I just did not want.
Sounded like you were cheating.
There's a lot of dust off the start. I really didn't got time for it. I didn't have tear-offs on my goggles. So that's what I'm blaming it on. But it was okay.
At least you had your contacts.
Yeah, that's not.
I've seen you ride a dirt bike without contacts.
You should see me drive. It's way worse. That's how I had to cheat when I got my pilot certificate.
Oh,
I
no.
walked in there. I did my drug test. And
Hold on, say it again for the FAA to hear you more clearly.
No. So I did my drug test, and I ran over to the other side, and I read the 4th line down. Same thing I do with my CDL stuff. And she came in. She goes, yeah, so 4th line. And I just set it off. She goes, oh, sounds good to me. I was like,
Memorized them.
yeah. Told him I didn't take Adderall. I have.
Dude,
A lot.
good thing no one listens to this podcast, or you'd be in trouble.
It's fine.
I've already
I
got
got my
one.
license yet, so.
I've already gotten one person investigated by the FAA this year, so better be careful.
The guy that jumped out of the airplane and.
No.
Who?
It was Ron. AWOL.
Sorry, Ron.
He took me up in his airplane and took a video of it.
Yeah.
And the tail number was in it. His name was in it. And then we were doing rolls and all sorts of stuff. And
They
then
weren't happy.
someone on TikTok actually went out of their way to call the FAA and report Ron. And then Ron got a call from the FAA and got investigated, and it turned into this whole thing. So
Pissed.
people out there, they'll do it. Someone listening right now might already be, if they can figure out how to spell your name, they're reporting you
They
right
can't. Oberdozer. You can't spell it.
now. Goobergazer,
Yeah. What's my last name, bud?
no one knows.
No one knows.
Oh, I guess it is written on here.
Shit.
But man, so I feel like there was a lot of stuff that went on this weekend. What do you know about? What's the inside scoop? What's the dirtiest secret that you're not supposed to say on this podcast?
Shouldn't say it like that. 23 KTM suck ass in a straight line.
Who told you that?
My friend. My friend Trip. Trip's
So I
got two of 'em.
mean, dude, that is. I think. All right, where.
Here's my thing: the three KTM guys, and the guys who run the 250S have not said anything about it.
Well, that's what I was looking at is where the KTM guys finished.
Like I've asked
it was
Jesse
6th,
about
7th,
his.
8th.
Jesse likes his. He says it's a rocket and acts like it runs, acts like it handles good. I mean, he rips down and forward on it. You see Stu and Ben and, I mean, Nelko ate shit on his. Maybe he hates his. I don't know. And
I mean, Nelko's only finished one race this year,
yeah, because they keep
and the other ones
fucking
were
up. They keep
mechanicals.
screwing up. And then who else am I thinking of? Johnny. Like, yeah, Johnny had a good run in Indiana. Obviously, he won. But these guys, I don't know what's the difference between, other than the subframes on the Husqvarnas and the new KTMs, because the KTMs seem to suck. I mean, I haven't heard of anybody having a DNF on a Husky, except Ashburn.
No, and I think it is something.
It's the exact same bike, I thought.
Did they change the 250s as well? Because
Well, they must have, because Drew Calloway DNF 3 races in a row.
But I mean, Gus seems to have it figured out.
Yeah.
But then you look at the Teely Energy team, like Ben, as I mentioned, Nelko has only finished one race.
Yeah.
Bubs, I think, has ran into a lot of issues. Stu seems to keep having issues. He was having issues on the live feed this past weekend with a clutch going out, is what it looked like.
Yeah.
And then he's made his comments publicly and privately about what he thinks of those bikes.
Yeah. He says they can't go in a straight line. But it is Pride Month, so.
One of the videos that that I put on YouTube, he was talking about it, and he straight up looked at Auntie and said, "You guys need to figure out the rear end of these bikes."
Yeah.
And so at that point, I don't know what that was about, but I mean, he clearly said that, and he said that to Auntie, and Auntie kind of like didn't dispute it. But I mean, I've heard of some of the other KTM riders that are going to the extremes to try to figure out how to keep that rear end planted, how to get those bikes working a little bit better. So it seems like they're in a rush to kind of figure out what was going on with those bikes and how to get them fixed.
Yeah, so the only thing that I know is the composite subframes on the Huskies, and there's a little bit different of a number on the linkage of the Huskies. But, I mean, I guess the linkage could do it, but I'm no mechanic, obviously. If anyone here knows me, I'm sure as hell not a mechanic.
I'm
But
no engineer.
I'm real good at paying attention, kind of, at this stuff. And I don't know. It seems like they're supposed to be the exact same bike. Obviously, they're the same updates for the 23 Husky KTMs, but the Husky boys are having so much more luck.
It's one of those things too where it's like it's hard to say, and it's really hard to kind of talk about it because like Ben is coming off of a shoulder surgery and a broken leg. So his results aren't 6 straight wins like it was last year.
Yeah.
But that's not necessarily the bike's fault. Like Ben, I mean, he's still limping around the track. Like it could be some of the effects of that. Johnny went through his own health stuff coming into this year. And it's his first year in XC1.
Yeah.
So while his results aren't the best that they could have been, like I'm sure that he is striving for something more. So like it's hard to judge it off the bike. Same thing with Stu. Stu, I mean, no one, I feel like most of these guys are never 100% healthy, but Stu's a lot healthier this year than he was last year.
Yeah.
Given the broken neck, given the circumstances and stuff like that. And Stu, for the last 2 years, 2 years ago, was a title contender going into that last race. Like, he won the majority of the races that year. And then last year got hurt at the first round, but then came back and won races and got on the podium. So I don't know if he's 100% healthy. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But he's healthier now to us. Like, there could be some underlying thing going on. I don't know. But his results haven't been what we're typically used to seeing Stu Baylor do, and that's run up front. But on the flip side of that, all 3 of them guys have won races.
Yeah.
So it's kind of what I guess what I'm getting at is it's hard to gauge how much is the bike and how much is everything else because there is a lot of everything else.
It seems like there's a lot of freak accidents this year too. As far as like, I'm glad it's not as bad as it was last year. A lot of mechanicals.
Yeah.
Like even Stu will be the first one to tell you. It's like he just keeps learning new stuff about this bike. He's factory supported rider, and he's still starting to. He's stumbling onto these things that probably should have already been a known thing.
Yeah.
Like the clutch issue this weekend. I'm sure that was not. I don't know. I had an issue with mine, and it was the stupidest thing in the world. Wherever I was bleeding the clutch, I pinched off the gasket in the master cylinder, and it like put air on the line, and even something like that you pull in your clutch and then there's no clutch,
Nothing. Yeah.
all air. So just stupid shit like that is what can happen. And
But I mean, that can happen to any bike.
obviously it happened to me. No
but
good.
I mean,
any bike, yeah,
those 3 guys are all running factory motors.
yeah.
I think Stu's the only one with a factory motor on that team, but everyone else on that team has ran into issues. A lot of the amateur riders have ran into issues. Like when you start looking at the KTM rides going down, like the amateur side, I'd be interested in knowing how they are.
Does
like
he have
how,
a mechanic?
How they're all
Stu?
holding up.
Who was wrenching for him this weekend?
Um,
Ryan's not working for him anymore, is he?
no. Bless me for not knowing. But that one fella.
Dylan, DC.
I'm friends with him on Facebook. His name is something different on Facebook than it actually is in real life.
Oh hell, I don't know.
I think someone said that he's like somewhere down the line Stu's cousin. He's from South Carolina.
Trent Wood.
No.
That's a good
That,
guess.
That is his cousin.
That's a good guess.
No.
But he has a mechanic.
I can think of his Facebook name, but I don't know his actual name. Yeah, he's been his mechanic since I think Bigger Buck or Camp Coker.
Huh.
I think Camp Coker. So yeah, he's got a mechanic.
Huh.
Why can't I not think of his name? I can picture him.
I hope he calls you out for it.
It is what it is.
But then, I mean, not talking shit about that guy, but it'd be nice to have a mechanic that literally knows the ins and outs of those bikes like everyone else that works for KTM. Your factory supported guy, at least they can send you
You need
flipping
Eric
mechanic.
Sorotin.
Eric Searton,
I thought it was Sorotin.
the truck driver.
He's not a truck driver.
Eric
Is he a
took my
truck driver?
job. Hell yeah. He drives this KTM semi now.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
Health
he's also
insurance.
got to be a mechanic. I always
insurance,
see him
dog.
like working on bikes and stuff.
I mean, I don't know, but his job is truck driver.
Hey,
He
he'd be my first choice for a mechanic.
Yeah, he's good. Fuck yeah. Hell yeah. Sorry. Hell yeah.
What other mechanic has X Games gold medals? I can't think of one.
His ex game. Oh, who was his rider?
Ronnie Renner.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
That's cool.
He's got Baja medals. He's got GNCC medals. He's got a GNCC XC2 championship. I guess kind of an XC1 championship if he was helping out with Ben in some way. X Games. He's done all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
He's
He's a good dude
ISDE.
too.
Yeah. But like someone like that, need him on the team.
Yeah. Which I would imagine Stu's not the easiest one to work for. Even when you're his friend, he throws beer cans at you, so I can't imagine what happened if his bike fucked up. Probably catch an elbow to the side of the head.
No telling.
No telling.
What else is going on? It's one of those things where like they gotta figure it out. They're gonna figure it out.
Yeah. It'll probably be in the 24s, though.
Because I mean that's the benefit about KTM, and I guess Beta has the same benefit, but Beta's not quite on the sales numbers, I wouldn't imagine. But like KTM has the advantage of being a motorcycle company. And so that's why they're able to put so much money into their development, put so much money into their marketing, put so much money into their program and everything that they're doing, because KTM is a motorcycle company. Like when you look at Kawasaki makes lawnmower engines, Kawasaki makes side-by-sides, Kawasaki makes jet skis, like they make all sorts of stuff. Honda makes cars, everything in between. Yamaha, generators, pressure washers, boats, jet skis. So all that money in all the other manufacturers kind of gets distributed throughout all the different segments, where KTM sells motorcycles.
Yeah.
So
And KTM's and Fuller's 2008.
yeah.
Pieces of shit. Hey, you know what I was thinking? You know how last year everyone was talking about Cooper Webb and them like him having issues with the bike and didn't like the bike, and he was like even especially in the whoops, and it wouldn't turn worth a shit. And then so now it's a 24. So that was the factory edition 22.5. This is the 23. That you would imagine that would be the same issue they were having on these ones. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, even in Supercross and Motocross, like KTM's haven't been doing what we've seen them do in the past.
yeah.
So I mean, they could be struggling to get those bikes dialed in too.
Yeah. I don't know. You wouldn't think it'd be a super. I mean, like I said, I'm not a mechanic. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But the engineers over there, you would think like the guys over at KTM would be like, oh yeah, well here's the difference. Here's the difference. The linkages. The linkage is a different size. The whole geometry of the bike's different. Change this. Change a motor mount. Boom.
Yeah, frames
You
different.
would think. You would
Yeah.
think it wouldn't be that hard for someone who knows what they're talking about, but I don't. So don't ask me.
Can't the MXGP guys, aren't they allowed to like change frames? Like they don't have to run stock frames, I don't think.
I think they have a lot more.
Leeway.
Yeah.
And they get to have a second bike
Yeah.
in case something goes wrong.
I had no idea. I never even watched any.
Like I wonder if that plans into like I wonder if they've done research and development with new frames that's going to come out with the half year factory edition bikes this year. Cuz I've heard that that's what they're kind of working towards is the 23 and a half or 24 and a half however it works. That bike is going to be like a completely different bike than what everyone's riding right now.
I rode a 24 300 XE the other day. I've been wanting to ride the TBI. Is that what it's called? TBI? TBI?
I don't know.
I rode
Something.
one.
The true fuel injected ones?
About killed me. It was great.
Heck yeah.
I rode it like a 125 for some reason.
How much did you hear the rev limiter?
I was pretty much riding in my suspension man's backyard, so not that much, but
I would have just sat there and held it on there.
I really wanted to. But it had 20 minutes on it. So, yeah, I thought it was super sick. The new two-strokes are sick. That's why I told Stu we need to start riding, but he thinks he'll get fired. If we put him on a 300 SX.
He almost raced a
He
300.
he almost had to.
Got close.
Yeah, he probably should have.
I wonder what would have happened if he just stayed on that bike instead of swapping back to the race bike.
He said whenever he was sitting on the line on that bike and he's seen his bike coming down, he's like, shit, I'm not going to ride this one.
Yeah.
Not in a oh, my bike's a piece of shit, but like he just really wanted to ride the 300.
Yeah.
Might have been 250 XE. I'm not sure what it was.
I think it was a 300.
They're
Pretty
freaking
sure.
sick. I like them.
Yeah. That's like I wish those dudes had like more of an option, like more of a choice, like could ride whatever bike in the lineup that they wanted. Like I understand why they can't. It's because they're trying to sell the off-road models and like they're trying to sell those premier bikes. So they want people buying the 4-strokes and not the 2-strokes. But man, how cool would it be?
90% of the people
just
are going to buy the
choose your
4
weapon.
strokes regardless, though. I mean, for KTM. So I understand it, but it's still kind of inconvenient for us watching.
Yeah. Or like at Snowshoe or the Mountaineer or something, like if Ricky Russell wanted to run a YZ250.
I think Josh is running the 300 2-stroke.
Yeah, but Josh is not a factory guy.
Not anymore, I guess.
Not anymore.
No, retired.
So, I mean, he can kind of run whatever he wants, I think.
Yeah, I think he's running 300.
Have you talked to
EX.
him lately? He was at
this
a
morning.
qualifier this past weekend.
Yeah, he went. So he did an area wherever. Then he was hanging out Southwick, getting ready to, because he's going to be racing Southwick outdoor.
I guess he can't race an outdoor until after Loretta's, right?
No, he can. He's racing Southwick.
I thought that was like a.
I think he might have made some phone calls. Because he's Southwick's in 3 weeks or a month.
See, I thought you couldn't do that. I thought you couldn't jump.
I think maybe some favors. I don't know. But they're letting him.
Because that was like the thing with like all the amateur guys that they got to make it through Loretta's before
Well,
they
I think
can go race
it
outdoors.
is different for them. But Josh has had 5 years of professional and off road and sprint enduro, so I think they're.
But then if he does that, then he's going to be a pro moto guy. So how can he go race Loretta's being a pro moto guy?
Well, Jednan did it as long as you don't get so many points. Jet was riding at before his last year Loretta's. He raced in Maryland.
Oh, really?
As long as there's a point system, you get a point out of it.
Mm.
But
See, I don't know how any of that works.
Josh went to Redbud this weekend, and I think he's on the alternate list for pro sport. Dude, the videos they were showing, there were so many. So Josh told me that he obviously most of them are doubling Larocco's leap, and the guys right behind him. There's a video he just sent me. A guy tries to jump Larocco's leap and would have made it, but lands right on top of another guy. So Josh said he
That
came
looked
around the
gnarly.
next lap, and they're both knocked out on the side of the track. And then a local woods guy from Indiana or Kentucky, a friend of Josh's, comes around the next lap. He's out on the other side of the track. He said there was 3 medic flags going on at the same time. He said it was gnarly.
And they didn't stop the race?
No, that's what he said. He said he was so confused. So he said he would get like a mid-pack start, and then at the very end of the moto, he would be catching all the guys, but he didn't have enough time because he was riding the 250F in like open and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, he said loading up on a 40-man gate is the gnarliest thing he's ever done.
Yeah.
Nuts.
That doesn't sound fun.
But he's on alternate list for.
Did you
first sport.
see the starts at the National?
I mean, I was there for Designations, but
No,
No,
I mean
no.
this
Oh,
past
yeah.
weekend.
yeah, Moto 2 450. People are eating shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Going through hay bales. Jeremy Martin got his damn
I don't wanna
arm
talk about it.
broken and
Blech.
ran over. And
yeah, no good.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
that
Jeremy
being
Martin.
said, completely different thing, but equally as scary. Like at Unadilla in 2016, I was running 4-stroke C lights, and there was 76 people on my row. So it's
Yeah.
76 C riders going into the first turn. That is a scary sight. Because it was the closest I've ever gotten to a GNCC hole shot. Like I got the jump, and I go to the inside, and we were talking about washing out in the first turn. Washed out in the first turn. So I was in front of 76 people, washed out in the first turn, bike gets separated from me, and then all 76 people go in between me and my bike. So I went from being like about to be in front of everybody to dead last of 76 people on a track that was like 8 miles long
It was terrible.
at Unadilla.
I hated that place.
It was a tough way to start the
Which
day.
is like Sportsman A at Ironman. Like it's the same but different. Like
Once again,
there's-
A riders versus C riders.
yeah, but they riders will kill you for fun. It's different.
The C riders,
Will kill you on accident.
that's true.
That's what I'm saying. Same
Thinking
but
they
different.
can win the race in the first turn.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the local IXCR guys are coming through with knives on their heels, just trying to stab everybody, trying to kill everybody. You get into the woods. It's the dustiest thing you've ever seen in your life. Then you're just smacking people. It's
It's
terrible.
insane.
Yeah,
That's a lot of people.
that's why I like sitting.
I
in
got
the
a
house.
plaque that day for 16th place.
I
'cause-
thought that's when you got hurt. Or was it 2017?
No, I didn't get hurt at Unadilla.
It was New York though, right?
Yeah.
other New
oh
York
yeah,
track,
yeah, yeah,
Tomahawk.
yeah. That was 2017.
On the 125.
Yeah, 125 BC. Because I was working for Racer TV.
Mhm.
At that time, I was like directing the Racer TV shows, and but yeah, that was a whole nother. That was when I was racing Randall Irvin. Randall Irvin was in my class. Who Randall Irvin's still super fast.
Yeah.
And that was like the first race. I was like, dude, I'm gonna keep up with him. Like this is the race. And him and I, dude, we come out of that first field section, and I could still see him. And then we look back, and by the time we were out of the field section, third place wasn't even in the field section yet. And this was the first lap.
Yeah.
So like I was trying because he got on the overall podium a few times that year from that 125
Yeah.
BC row. And so I was like trying to stay with him, and it was just like a high speed section through the woods, like just a sweeper. And I lost the front end, dude. Center punched a tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I didn't know where I was at. Broke my collarbone, tore ligaments in my thumb. I still have issues with my thumb. Like I can't hold up like a full Gatorade with this hand because my thumb is still hurt from that crash.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
it. That was at Tomahawk.
Yeah. Not a big New York guy. Too many rocks for me. Rocks and roots.
That Tomahawk race is actually, it's like 10 minutes from my uncle's house, but then also like right where my whole family's from. Like I was born real close to that track.
Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty interesting to go back up there.
I remember the first time going to Unadilla, I was with the Gearings in Ohio. So we left Ohio, took off day of school, got up there, and we got there super late Friday night. Saturday morning, woke up, and you'd walk out. We were right at I guess it doesn't really matter where we parked at, but as soon as we opened up the camper, like it was the thickest fog I've ever seen in my life. You couldn't even see the moto track. Like when the mini quads were racing,
Mm-hmm.
they couldn't see shit. And then it was like probably 11 o'clock. You could finally see everything. And then halfway through the AM motorcycle race the next day was when people could start hitting the sky shot because how foggy it was. Gnarly. And that was my first time going like out of state racing. Really, it was the craziest thing to me.
Yeah.
Local Ohio straight to New York. I was like, holy shit.
They always put like hay bales around it to where they would like chicane it off.
Yeah, and
to where you
then
couldn't
the
hit it in
fans will
morning.
go over there and move them when they knew that their boy or somebody was coming.
Yeah.
They'd come over and just
Straighten that thing up.
I watched a guy that year throttle stick on the face and landed, and then I don't know, landed on the back wheel, rode a wheelie, and then ate shit. And the bike, there's a big water reservoir down there.
Mm-hmm.
The bike was halfway in like the pond, like ended up blowing up, piston shot out, and he was down there. Like, dude, it was the craziest thing in the world. Because that was when Cody Gregg was racing too. That was my first time ever meeting him. I remember him throwing just like the fattest whip on the planet of the sky shot. That was like the biggest jump I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
And then 2 minutes later, here comes this guy in Sportsman A just ripping and throws it, and the throttle sticks. And I was like, holy shit. Eats it. Scarred.
Could you imagine, dude?
Scared the shit out of me.
Did you ever hear about that story about the guy that tried to jump gravity cavity and died?
He
He tried
down
to jump
it?
over it.
That's stupid.
That's what someone always told me. I've never. I could be completely making
So
that
you're
up.
running
Someone
80
could be
mile an hour
screaming at
straight
me
into
right
a
now.
hill.
Yeah, but someone tried to go over it to
That's
the other side.
Stupidest thing in the world.
Yeah. And granted, that could not have happened at all.
Yeah.
But when we were there, that's the story I was told. And then just to think about someone even trying that seems
That
ridiculous.
place is so steep. There's this part on the very side of the track where it's like a steep downhill. Then you immediately take a 180, go right back up the hill.
Yeah.
And we didn't run it, but we were just like messing around on pit bikes, and we
Yeah.
tried to do it. So steep.
Yeah, I
Like
know
pit
exactly what you're
bikes,
talking
you
about.
almost had to push the pit bike up the other side of it.
Yeah.
It was so gnarly.
Yeah.
But it was cool. I don't know.
Dude, that'd be sick to go up and race at J-Day there. Because they still race at Dilla. I think it just happened.
You want to go to Southwick with us for the Pro National?
When is it? For the
2
Pro
week-
National?
2 weeks after we go watch Josh. 2 weeks after Snowshoe.
That would be sick.
Yeah, there's me and my buddy Hunter Helmick are going.
We should put together a video.
Yeah?
With Josh.
Tell him not to be
Does
scared.
he have a video guy? I thought he was
Ian-
supposed to be
I
having a
think
video guy.
Ian does some stuff for him, but I don't know if they've done anything.
But I mean, Ian's at all the J Days, and like I don't think Ian went with him to Hawaii for that hard enduro. But
Yeah.
like, what about all the other stuff? Like, was anybody with him this past weekend?
Nah, I was so I went and rode with them on would have been like Tuesday, and we rode moto in Ohio, and then he had mentioned asked me if I wanted to cruise over, what if I had anything going on, and that's probably what I would have ended up being was big camera guy. But no, he took Brock Hepler. Him
Oh,
and
yeah.
Brock cruised
So
over. They
Brock was-
grabbed the Enduro Engineering van, cruised over, and then I mean he's probably just cruising. And now Josh was coming straight back down, and Brock took the van back over to PA.
Gotcha. That's just it's so cool and unique of what he's doing, and I feel like that would be like the key in that is like being able to tell that story, like to document that and put those videos out and stuff of what he's doing. Because other than Ryan Sipes, like nobody's done it. Like nobody's put
Yeah.
together a program like that.
Yeah, so he was doing. I know Ian and him were doing some videos, but I don't know if the schedule's kind of been off since. But
I mean, I could have missed it, but I haven't seen anything. And I know that Ian's at GNCC because he's doing all the stuff for the Austrian brands.
yeah,
And then he's at Unadilla flying not Unadilla, he's at J-Day as the official drone pilot and stuff of that. So I know he's tied up all of those weekends, and Josh has to be doing stuff on those. I mean, that's a lot of weekends just between those two series.
yeah,
But, like, I don't remember seeing anything from, like, Hawaii or anything like that.
yeah. I don't know. That would be sick to do one of Southwick though.
Yeah.
Because I think so. 10 days before the Southwick National, they like close it down so locals can't ride. So I wanted to go up like Wednesday and take a bike and ride, like just go find somewhere to ride. Like if we go up there, last time I went up there, Ben and Josh took us on Tour de Winstead because they live in Winstead, Connecticut,
Mm-hmm.
and I felt like a piece of shit. I was trying to ride some of that stuff, and I was on Josh's 450, and it was overheating everywhere, and I felt like a fat ass, and I was rolling down the hill and shit, and it was raining, and Zach Toth took a mosquito to the ear and freaked out and rode the pit bike home. It was great. But we were stuck in the woods, like not stuck, like they were sitting there climbing hills, but I was hyperventilating, dying.
Sounds like a good time.
Oh, it's the most fun. 300 wouldn't hurt.
Did you go to the sand pit where Todd did a backflip at?
No, maybe. We went to a sand pit, Brian DeSalt's house.
Mm.
We left Brian's house and went out there. There was like 7 or 8 of us. So maybe. Big old sand pit. I don't know where, It was cool. Way different kind of riding, though. I suck out there, which I'm
Yeah.
not the best here either. But going out there and riding, like I'm fine in the sand. Then we go, like, the gnarly rocks. No. I get smoked.
Have you seen that place somewhere up there? I think it's in PA. We'll probably see a lot of it this week. The
The
Moon.
Moon.
Yeah.
I went there.
You've been there?
I took a brand new gas there and dented the frame.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, no skid plate.
Did it handle better after that?
No.
Oh.
It handled the exact same, which was not the greatest.
That place looks
Had air
sick.
forks.
Like
no, it's not.
now with Snowshoe being the next race, I'm sure that we'll see people there over the next couple weeks.
I
But
won't
it
be
looks sick.
there. You won't see me.
I just remember seeing all the videos of Liam Draper, like just hop, skipping, and jumping over all that stuff
Dude,
like a
it's
little
gnarly.
bunny rabbit.
Dude, we should honestly go because I'm going to go a couple days early to Snowshoe, I think. I
Mhm.
might leave from Ohio, kind of depending. We should go, and you can take the CT out there because I'm sure that'd be so much fun.
That sounds dangerous.
Yeah. Did I move this camera or is it good? Just a minute.
You definitely did move it.
How's that?
Why do you keep moving it more?
Well, I thought I was moving it the correct way.
I don't know. You're in there.
Hell yeah. Yeah, the Moon is not great for me, but it was fun.
I like to go check it out. Have you ridden Bollinger Snowshoe Loop?
Unofficially. Like I went like after Snowshoe and I thought I was on their loop. Like they took me on a pretty gnarly one day, but it was
Dude, this sounds like some prime time to get some Brown Mountain trips going too.
yeah.
It's in the next
Bollinger
couple
started the
weeks.
group chat and they're riding during the week over there, and that sounds sick. I wanted to go there
At
this
Brown
weekend.
or at Bollinger's place?
Bollinger's, yeah. His place is I swear in North Carolina, his is the best place to ride in North Carolina. It's so much.
And you
It's so
take
good.
the old Beta over there. Get some premium quality and rideability in those hills.
You don't want it, bud.
I'm sure Johnny will be there. Johnson.
Oh, I thought you meant Gerard. Yeah, John will
No.
be there.
John Johnson.
Probably.
Talking about Betas, boy.
Betas, boy.
Cool to see Bollinger back at it. Raced North Carolina a
Yeah.
couple weeks ago. Went back, raced GNCC this past weekend. Raced the race, finished the race, had some fun during the race.
Had some fun while racing and finishing the race.
Yep.
Yeah. I
Hey,
was pumped.
those are all positive takeaways.
Yeah, as long as you're showing up and getting through it and staying healthy, and hopefully by the end of the year he'll be back on pace. But
Yeah.
rough go for the Morganton boy.
I think summer break is going to do a lot of people a lot of favors this year.
Yeah, I'd say there's going to be not as much Busch Light drinking as there was last summer.
Hopefully, we'll see Lyndon Snodgrass back after summer break.
Yeah.
I got a Snapchat from him that he's back training.
Yeah?
So that's good.
I talked to him
Step in the right direction.
3 days ago. And he said I haven't touched a bike in 7 weeks.
Well, I didn't say he was riding. So he was training.
Oh.
Just doing workouts and stuff again.
Back on the Stairmaster.
But then he said that he wasn't going to be back until after summer break.
Yeah.
Which I don't think any of that's a problem to disclose. There's no details. That's just he'll be back after summer break.
Yeah.
What else? Who we got?
Does he have is this it's not the same thing as 2 years ago, right? What's wrong with Lyndon right now? Does he have the same thing that like Archer and them have had issues with? The overtraining thing? Is that what he has, or is it from the
I am not at liberty to talk about anyone's stuff that hasn't been disclosed publicly.
I don't know if it's the same thing that happened 2 years ago.
I don't know.
Just got sick.
I don't know.
Overtraining.
No idea.
Oh, sorry, Lyndon.
But it does suck, like, seeing that championship they won last year and then coming back strong, trying to fight through stuff this year, and then ended up having to miss these races and not getting a true chance to sit there and to try to defend that number one plate. I wonder if he can get a medical red shirt year.
I don't think so.
Isn't that like how college works? Hey, my girlfriend's walking around outside.
Mindy. I wonder if she'll bring us some Mo's.
But, yeah, so looking at the points, Stu has been back and forth with the points lead. I think this past weekend was one of the biggest disruptions that we've seen in the overall points, with Stu and Ben and all them finishing so far back, and then Craig getting the win.
Yeah.
So Craig moves into the overall lead, 168 points. So 8-point gap, which I think Stu had a pretty hefty lead going into this race.
He did.
But now Craig DeLong 8 points ahead of Stu, who is 16 points ahead of Ben Kelly, who is, I can't do math that fast, 6 points ahead of Jordan Ashburn.
Ashburn's only 26 back, and he had a DNF.
26 back from Ben Kelly in third
Okay.
place. He is 40 points back from the points lead.
Okay, sorry, illiterate. Yeah, that's pretty good considering he had a DNF.
And I think after that it's like Grant, and then it kind of tapers off from there. But Craig DeLong out in front, 168. He will have the white plate. And then Stu, and then Ben, and then Jordan. Still anybody's game, dude.
Yeah, what the hell?
But one less race this year. We got snowshoe, which could go anyway, dude. Anybody could win snowshoe.
Yeah.
Just depending on what the mountain throws at us.
Ricky
Anybody could
Russell.
win that one.
Ricky Russell.
I mean, that's where you guys first win at. And
Yeah.
you did it on a Yamaha that he's on now.
I'm a big Rick train this weekend.
And then coming back after summer break, there's only 3 races to decide the championship. And I don't think this is one that's going to get wrapped up early. I think this is going to be down to the wire.
It's very inconvenient for me to know John Penton number 2. I didn't get to go to the first one this year, which no listener here likes John Penton, I don't think.
I was about to say,
I'm
what
the
do you
other
mean you
one.
didn't get to go? You lucky?
I'm a
Dog.
local, yeah. Big John Penton fan, especially when it's muddy.
I hate that place.
Yeah, I'd say it's weird from like looking back a year ago and how crazy everything was, how close everything was last year, and it's like I don't know. I feel like everyone coming into this year thought it was for sure Stu and Ben Kelly were going to be like way ahead.
Yeah.
Like I thought so. I thought
My prediction
BK
was Johnny
and
Gerard,
Stu.
but I didn't know what was going on.
yeah, but I mean not putting anyone else down. I kind of thought that Stu would be, if he won the first, like I think that's what I said, if he won Big Buck, then he'd be pretty much on a tear all year. And I don't think anyone's seen that the KTMs were going to be that dog shit this year. The bikes themselves, not the riders.
Dude, you're
And-
heavy on the KTM hate today.
Well, everyone I know that has a 23 has had issues with it. So
The one thing that I want to say, and like, I'm not trying to bash on anything or anybody. I'm just, people have been talking about it. And by people, I mean like the pro riders. Like, we had a conversation today with a KTM guy about
Yeah.
those bikes. We've seen stuff in public about those bikes. We've seen results of those bikes. But like, think about the consumers that went out and bought one. Like, think about the people that are paying for their own bike and paying for all their stuff.
but that's the thing. So the only person that I know that has a new KTM that's had issues with it is Drew Calloway. Like I got a buddy, Trip Sherrill. He has 2 of them right now, 2 350 XCFs,
23s?
23s, 0 issues.
What are they?
350s,
Oh, 350s?
0
See, I've heard
issues.
that that's the one that's been having.
Me too. And the 450s. I had some buddies that have some 450s, which they don't race or anything. So maybe it's, I don't know if it's like I don't know. They maintain it good. I know everyone I know that has one. I mean, they treat them pretty good and like they should. But the only one that I know that is not like a factory guy that's had issues with them is like Drew Calloway's the only guy I know that's had issues. He blew up 2 of them, I think, which is screwed up. He's on a Yamaha now. He bought a
I think Ben
YZ
Nelko's
450.
blown up like 8.
yeah. Ugh.
Maybe a little bit different riding style than your average amateur.
I'm gonna tell you what the issue is. They don't have DK wrench poking around on them.
Would have been a good one.
Ride red Austrian bikes. That's what you got to ride.
Nope. Red Italian bikes.
No,
Ferrari red. That's the bikes that you want.
no.
Look at this. Look at this. Premium quality and rideability.
Shit show off road.
I ain't had no problems out of my betas.
You don't. I have a lot more hours on my gas than you have on your betas.
It's premium. It's like it's Ferrari red, dude. It's the Weekender.
Ride red, get ahead.
Something like that. What about the XC2 points? I had it pulled up here. They're really close. So Rui Barbosa still has the points lead, 166 points. Liam Draper moves into second place, 164 points. Cody Barnes, third place, 160 points. Gus Reardon, fourth place, 156 points. That's the top 4 within 10 points of each other. And then fifth place is Ryder Lafferty with 145. So he's still 21 points out of the lead. That's still anybody's ball game too, especially in
Yeah.
that XC2 class and how stacked it is.
Especially if Ryder starts, out riding like he did at the beginning of the year. I'm not sure if he
Yeah.
had issues midway, but he was on a tear the first 3 races.
Yeah.
So
Well, that third race he had an issue, but he was out in front and then had an
Yeah.
issue. Oh,
Yeah.
that was Georgia.
yeah, you said you came by him.
So
He-
something could
he
happen.
passed him on the
Anything.
road. He was just shaking his head. He blew it up, didn't he?
Oh yeah, that's right. But then the race after that is when he got a 17th, and that will hurt your points.
Yeah, that'll hurt. No drops for XC2, correct?
No drops. But I mean, like you said, Ryder starts clicking off some wins. I mean,
Doesn't take much to get back up there,
yeah, 21-point gap ain't much. It's 9 points from first to third.
especially when the top 4 guys have went from first to 8th, like on any given weekend.
Yeah. Rui Barbosa leading the points 4-6, 4-1-1, 4-5-3. So pretty consistent.
Holy shit.
Only one outside the top 5. Liam 6-2, 9-3, 10, 2-2-1. Cody 7-7, 3-2, 3-3, 1-7. So I mean that right there shows you consistency is key.
Yeah.
Rui only one ride outside the top 5. He's leading points by
my
2
boy.
points. But 2 points is 2 points.
Yeah. Yeah, Rui wins championship. He's going to trade that Raptor in and get a brand new one. Big Roush guy.
Someone's calling me from California,
Let me talk to him.
but it's from Redondo Beach, California.
Is it Jay Leeds?
I don't know anybody from Redondo Beach, California. I
Oh.
don't even know where that is.
My dad called me. I didn't answer.
Shout out.
Shout out, Gary.
So, either way, I think we're in for a real treat over the next couple months because we get 2 months off for summer break. But both of these championships, both of them are going to come down to the absolute wire.
How close is XC3? Because I know the first part of the year, Toby Cleveland won like most of them. And
Yeah,
then
he's-
Dakota DeVore won 2 in a row.
Toby Cleveland's pretty far out front.
That's cool.
206 points, and then Dakota DeVore in second place with 174, and then Jay is super close to that with 168. But they get 2 drops, and Toby's going to drop a 7, and Dakota's going to drop an 8 and a 5 right now. So that would tighten up the gap a little bit. But I mean, Toby's got 5 wins.
Toby got 7 this weekend, didn't he?
What?
What did Toby get this weekend?
Finish?
Oh, he won. He won. What did he get? Sorry. Last, whenever he was. What
3rd,
about Dakota this weekend?
8th.
Okay.
That's
That's the
be
one.
his drop.
Yeah, I seen him
Right
riding
now.
that. We were riding at a place called Beans MX in Canton, Ohio.
Did you give it the beans?
I broke the whatchamacallit, my wheel, the bead in my tire. It's great. Came around a corner and the whole bike started shifting. I looked down and
So you're giving it the beans.
the bib exploded. It was great.
I'm trying to think. I feel like there's something else that was a big storyline headline. My computer's about to die, and I gotta leave. So, what are we missing?
I'm about to be the 200A champion of Aces Enduros in Ohio. So anybody up there that wants to smoke, I got a 2009 ready to go.
Where's that?
Just in Ohio.
I hate that state. Sorry.
I hate the state too, but I love KTM 200s.
Was there any more storylines that we wanted to get to? Any drama? Why are you looking at me like that?
I thought you were about to like give me a wink saying like there was something. I don't
Oh.
remember.
I don't know. You're the one in the know.
I don't know.
I've been here them
been
making
on-
T-shirts. I don't even know what's
But
going
I've
on
been on a
anymore.
job site for 3 months. I don't know what to tell you. I just got back.
Welcome back.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming out to Weekend Review
Yeah, glad to be here.
with Goober Gazer. So, is there anything? Can you think of anything else?
Everybody bring your kegs to Snowshoe. It's going to be great.
Free Howard's Hole.
What is the deal with that?
I've missed 3 straight GNCCs. I gotta go to Snowshoe.
Yeah, get blackout. What's the deal with I seen on Tom's Snapchat or on his Instagram. What's
They
the free
show up at all those races every year. I think
What does free Howard's Hole mean?
but I think what the whole premise is trying to get Howard's Hole for the AM race too. I think that's what the free Howard's Hole part is.
I don't think Howard's Hole, as far as watching the motorcycles, is great. I go to people watch because
Dude.
I don't think it's that hard.
You ever been
personally.
to Howard's Hole 8 a.m. on quad day?
Well, you mean
That
10?
is Howard's Hole. No, it starts at 8. It starts at 7. From 8 to 10.
No, because I keep getting blackout on Friday at the golf tournament. And I don't wake up till noon on Saturday.
Dude, I need to find a golf team. They're probably all.
Me, you, and Randy Leeds.
All right.
Jay Leeds' brother.
We need one more, I think. I shot the
Nick
best
Rupert?
round of golf I ever shot in my life this morning.
Listen, I can't shoot.
I've been
I
training.
got like a shotgun of beer.
I've been training.
Last year was a bad deal.
If anybody needs a guy, let me know. But no, if you want to see the most outrageous crap you've ever seen in your life, go to Howard's Hole, 8 a.m., anytime between 8 and 10, before that morning quad race gets there,
Yeah.
but then also like in between the morning quad race and the pro quad race, that's when you need to be at Howard's Hole.
Expect to see some fist fights and a little bit of skin.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Bring your beads.
Bring your beads.
Bring your beads. It's great.
It's insane.
I
Down.
love
I
the
couldn't
locals.
believe it, dude. Because I've never been down there. A lot of
So
times,
this year, last year,
yeah, for quad day.
I don't like going down there. Like I like going down there and seeing everything, but people go down there all day long. Like I don't know what it is. I get down there. Maybe it's because I go down there twice a day,
Yeah.
and these fat little legs going up and down that road.
See, every time I'm at GNCC, I've been there like, excuse me, filming or doing something or working for Racer TV. Last year was the first year that I ever got a chance to like go down there and just like kind of hang out.
It's terrible.
It would, dude. Saturday I might just leave the camera alone, wear some old clothes, and
Maybe put your glasses on.
go be a mud flea.
It's a bad deal. See, I never. I feel like I always go to the entrance of it. I don't, or so I go from like the exit to the entrance. Like I don't go like where the main everyone's at. 'Cause there's always so many people there.
Yeah.
But I think it's gnarly. Yeah. Someone always gets knocked out in their land, or someone's shooting down fireworks or throwing them 80s in the air and shit.
Dude, last year these people straight up pushed over a tree. Like this tree was perfectly fine, living its own life. And then these dudes came up and straight up pushed this tree over, and then once the tree was pushed over, they started jumping out of it. So they were climbing up in it, and dude, it was like 12, 15 foot high, and they were jumping out of that thing into the like the mud pit.
Yeah.
It was insane. But then you're sitting there thinking about it, it's like I wonder how much broken glass is
Yeah.
in that place, and everyone's just like kind of walking around and wallering in all of it.
Yeah. Bring your bibs,
Yeah.
not your overalls.
Or some rubber boots.
Your bib mooses.
You're gonna have a good time, no matter what.
Yeah. I plan on just having a great time. I got a house up by. It's not top of the world. Like what's right where he'd been staying. It's those apartments right there on the left.
I don't know.
Oh, well, it's be a bad deal. Terrible.
Got my computer plugged in. We had 2% left. But anyway, Howard's Hole is going to happen tomorrow. Should be an OTP Tuesday. I hate committing to that just because I need to get my life figured out. I need to get this T-shirt stuff figured out so we can get back to OTP Tuesdays.
I need to get back to making some videos, some dirt bikes.
I do
You
need
go
to
see
do
what
that
the
as well.
Austrians are doing. Go see if you can see some kid play action from Big Mesa.
Might hit up Bollinger, go film the snowshoe loop. So keep an eye out. We're going to be doing stuff on YouTube because we got this thing right here. And I was like, hey, you know what? That's cool. We got 365,000 YouTube subscribers. Let me just not give them anything for the foreseeable future. That's my bad. We're going to get back on it. In the meantime, be making a bunch of T-shirts. In the meantime, might see you around for some more Mondays, some weekend reviews. Thanks for coming out today. Parking your camper over here and coming and hanging out.
Yeah. House.
Yeah. Any closing words?
Nope. Be good at it.
As always, be a friend, tell a friend, let everybody know about On the Pipe Podcast. Thank you, Craig, for coming in. Thank you all for watching and listening. We will see you next time.